me ask you some questions, Sabrina.
Oh, okay, cool. Wait, my full name is Sabrina Matty.
Sabrina Matty. That's M-A-T-I.
Sabrina Ilsa Matty.
Ilsa, like in Frozen. No, that's
Ilsa.
Elsa.
Not Elsa. Ilsa. I-L-S-E.
Okay, cool.
What are your questions, Anthony?
I'm sorry that I'm not down on my Disney facts. Okay, so Sabrina, I've known you for a little while here, for at least like almost a year and a half at this point, maybe more. I think my first show, was one of your, maybe not your first, but I know you've been on a few before that. Tell me about your first animated show you worked on and how you got that job.
So the very, very first show I was on, crazy enough, was actually Adventure Time. I was an intern on the show, and how I got there. Okay, well, let me just state that I went to the Art Institute of North Hollywood. They like to trick people. So when you hear AI Hollywood, it's AI North Hollywood.
Oh, it's right by my house.
Yeah.
I know where that is.
In North Hollywood,
Yeah,
by
that's
the
where I
Federal
live.
Bar.
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about the Federal Bar earlier.
Yeah. I tried to go in there the other day. It was a $10 cover. Wrong. All right, sorry. Keep going.
Okay. Me and Nick actually went to the Art Institute.
Cool.
We don't have good stories about that school, but yeah, we'll get into that some other podcast episode or whatever.
We'll do one about schools.
Yeah, we'll do one about schools. Yeah, so I went there for my bachelor's, and then my last year, I started feeling like I needed to look for internships. I think Nick got an internship at Cartoon Network, and then that kind of just told me like, hey, maybe I should apply too, because if he got it, maybe I could get it too.
What? Cool.
And then he helped hook me up with a website to apply and everything, because I didn't even know how to go about it.
The Cartoon Network website?
Mm-hmm. Which was, it's not even Cartoon Network, it was Turner. And then you go on Turner, and then job search and all this crap. And then I managed to be one of the lucky few to get a phone call, and then they're like, hey, we're having you interview on Adventure Time.
As an intern?
Yeah, I didn't even choose the show. They just were like, hey, we're gonna have you interview on Adventure Time. Is that okay?
Really
and I was
lucky.
like, yeah,
Wow,
sure.
that's great.
I heard it at some point some people got to choose which show they wanted to be on. Sometimes you don't get to choose. I guess it depends on the person, or whoever contact they get, because some people get these interns or whatever.
What was your role as an intern on Adventure Time?
So,
you were fresh out of college, right?
Yes.
What was your role?
What a lot of people think with these internships at Cartoon Network or whatever these studios are, they think that they're going to be doing art. That's not the case. Usually internships, they help out productions. And usually you're kind of like a little mini PA. You're an assistant to the production assistant.
At a larger studio, I imagine that's the case for sure.
Yes. I don't know about mini, smaller studios or whatever. That wasn't my first.
Well, my first gig, sorry to interrupt.
You did.
I did do art.
Okay.
Because if you look up what Todd World looks like, it looks like a 5-year-old drew the show. And
I think it also comes to how payment works too, and credit or something like that. I think there was too much of a liability, or with Cartoon Network people, they didn't want people to.
Well, that's a union gig too.
Yes, union. Yeah. Because I remember some instances where some people did do art, and then the people came around and were like, "Hey, why wasn't my name in the credits, or why didn't I get credit for this?" And then Cartoon Network, or all these studios, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they've all had their share of stories. They're like, "Oh crap," and then they had to, deal with this one intern or whatever. I don't know. I heard quite a few stories like that. But so I mainly worked with production. And I did a lot of fun things. I learned a lot about storyboarding, because I had to conform storyboards. I did, everybody, because that's the worst thing ever. But it was great because since my school was mostly the sucky part about my school was they didn't teach a lot of art. They taught mostly 3D and then programs. So the way that benefited me was I was so tech savvy that at my internship I was just super awesome at everything. And they liked that. They liked that I could be thrown into anything and I could do whatever. So that did really well for me. And then I got my name passed around or whatever, or they recommended me when I was done with my internship. And then that's how I got my second job as an actual digital production assistant.
Oh, cool.
On Uncle Grandpa. And then
Nice.
from Uncle Grandpa, I went to Rick and Morty as an artist, as a cleanup artist.
So wait, what did you do on Uncle Grandpa again?
Digital production assistant.
And then
It's
how did you go from a digital PA on Uncle Grandpa to what was your first gig on Rick and Morty season 2?
Design cleanup.
Design
which
cleanup.
basically my title on Rick and Morty is weird because it's not. I don't just do cleanup. I work with the character designs a lot, and I do turnarounds. Sometimes I'll do special poses. Sometimes I'll like design like redresses or something like that, or
Cool.
special. Some incidentals I'll design every once in a while. So I'm just like an extra asset.
So for your first gig on Rick and Morty, did you need to do like a character test
Yes.
in order to get there?
Yes, I aimed for a character design position, and they
Okay.
told me, sorry you didn't get the position, but we liked your cleanup work a lot and your turnarounds a lot, so we would like for you to do that.
This was season 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Season 2. So there were like tons of people going for this job.
Oh yeah, I guess
Because
yeah,
already
that's
the
what it
show
picked
had
up.
taken off.
There were a lot of applicants on season 2.
Yeah, I was so
Yeah.
lucky. Yeah, I was.
I don't know
I'm
about luck. I
blessed.
think it's more like talent, Sabrina. Okay.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
But and then from Rick and Morty, it was to Animals, which is where I met you.
Where we met.
HBO Animals, and then that was really bad. How many are we gonna do? And then after that, it was Harmon Quest,
Mm-hmm.
and then back to Rick and Morty season 3.
Cool. Seems
Yeah.
like you had quite the roller coaster ride.
Yeah, and you know what I'm happy about is every single show that I've worked on, I've actually been a fan of.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. Same thing with me. Every show that I worked on, I had some kind of like cathartic connection to one way or
Yeah.
another.
That
which
is-
I've really been lucky.
That's not always typical because I've did the gamut on children's shows for a very long time before I got anything cool and noteworthy.
with. Oh yeah. So before you got to stuff you liked, you kind of trotted through the shit for a while.
Yeah, because I mean, Discovery Kids, if they're even still a network, try out any of their
Yeah,
shows.
I remember the shows they used to have on.
Yeah.
Like there was like one with a shark as the friend.
Oh, I remember that show. That came on right after the second show I worked
Kenny
on.
the Shark.
Yeah, Kenny the
Yeah.
Shark came on right after Growing Up Creepy was my second show that I worked on.
Yeah, that's the only show I can remember from Discovery Kids, and I never really watched it. but-
I can go into why that network sucks so much, and I'll do that later.
Okay, we'll do that
We
later.
just have like an episode where we just crap on everything.
Then we can never have guests from
Schools.
people that
Why-
work there.
Why else am I here?
Yeah. We're here
We
to
want to
crap on
gossip.
you. It's
We
called
want to vent
Ass. The
and
show is called
complain.
Ass.
Well, I was actually just thinking a little while ago how interesting behind-the-scene production stories are,
Mhm.
more so than the actual like the actual stories we tell. Sometimes like what goes on behind the scenes of like not just animation but movies, television shows is
Sure.
probably way more fascinating. Like
There's
the
a lot,
politics and the history.
there's a
and the
lot of
thing.
politics that goes on behind the scenes, and I guess if we do ever dive into talking about behind the scenes, we should be very careful to not drop names unless we know that person is dead or something.
Yeah.
Because we might want to have them as a guest.
I'm pretty sure Discovery Kids is a dead network, but yeah.
Okay, if the network's dead, we might as well drop names. Dead network, dead people. We're allowed to drop names. Sabrina, anything else you want to toss in there about like your success story? I know we're gonna dive more into the success stories and obstacles and whatnot, but about your first gigs and kind of crawling your way up.
I'm very thankful that I did experience the production side going into Cartoon Network, because that was my foot in the door, and a lot of people who do want to become artists and they have trouble finding their first art job, I'm always trying to tell them, you know what, don't just go for art, like try production first too. You guys are learning all these programs and you don't know that you are more tech savvy with these programs than a lot of people that are in the industry now, because these people in the industry have been working in the industry for years, and sometimes new programs come out and they need help with how to use certain programs, especially in production. Production people, they have to keep up with the latest things,
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm very thankful that I came across that, and I'm very proud I got to work with the people that I did over there. Never think that you're gonna get stuck there. If you don't plan on being stuck in production, don't think you're gonna get stuck there.
I'm stuck. No, I'm joking. I
Keep
like
practicing your art if you do want to be an artist. And then as far as anything else goes too, it's great foot in the door. Like if you want to become a writer, even voice acting. Like I got to do circle takes.
Cool.
Yeah, for
Describe what circle takes are.
Okay, so circle takes is where you go into sound recording booths with the voice actors, and then while while the voice actors, they're reading the scripts, they like, they'll read a line or so, and then they say like take 1, take 2, and then I'm writing this stuff down on the script, and I'm circling the ones that the director or the creator, the ones that they like and they plan on using for later.
Yeah.
And then eventually these circle takes are like submitted to the dialogue editor so they can pull just those takes, and then the animatic editor can take those takes and edit it together for the animatic, so on and so forth.
Hopefully everyone knows what an animatic is that's watching this.
Yeah,
Or
we'll
listening.
catch
We'll
it.
go
We'll
in
catch
later.
them up on
We're
that.
gonna touch up on all this terminology, but it was cool. So I got to meet the voice actors, and met a lot where like they even started from a weird place too. So
Everyone
we're
does.
gonna bring some on. Like just wait. It's not just
We're
art.
gonna get some good people.
Yeah, we want to just touch up on everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my
Cool.
closing.
That's a cool story. It
Yeah.
seems like a really solid success story.
And I'm
Cool.
still young, I'm like 24. I
She's still
started
young.
really young.
Should I do the intro again, or are we good to go? Great.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
let's
Okay,
go.
so there was an intro, and then there was about 45 seconds to a minute of awkwardness. That will serve as our musical intro today, just us rambling about nothing. And now, here we are.